talking about measurements, you say here the things that you cannot measure yet and the things that you can measure, right? So some of the things that you cannot measure is how often brands appear in real LLM queries. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Impression level data doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? You can also not measure LM recommendations lead to cross-channel conversions. This is what we're talking about right now. Indirect revenue uplift remains untracked. And also, you cannot identify which specific user prompt in LLMs drive visits or influence on-site behavior. So we got what you cannot measure out of the way. So tell me what are some of the things that you can measure.
Of course. So what you can measure, and like a lot of tools are now starting to provide this, is either some sort of view of share of voice, like in terms of likelihood of you appearing for a certain set of either topic or prompts. And that could be done, I've seen, like based on synthetic prompts, where like you kind of select a list of questions or prompts, like, and you see how the LM returns the response. And if your brand is mentioned, like then you like your share of voice goes up. Which is fine to an extent, as long as you don't 100% obsess on the exact like numbers, because there are some limitations. We can touch on that as well. So you can do share voice, you can do some prompt tracking. What you can also measure, if you have, this is a bit more technical, so not everyone would have it, but if you have your server logs for your website, you can understand how bots are interacting with your websites, like what pages were visited, what was visited, how often was visited. Let's say you produce some new content, like if that was actually kind of like if the bot is interacting with it. So that's a really powerful way also to understand like what's happening on a website with that data. So that's, I think that gives you part of the picture. You can also use other, I guess, correlations, like if in Search Console, like which is again an organic, like in Google, for example, organic tool, you can understand if some of the impressions for like certain queries are growing, and maybe that correlates to like some sort of search demand. It's not again a direct metric, but you can try to correlate it. And you can see if, again, in Google Trends, even if again a topic is growing, and that might be a correlation. So I would say the measurement right now is not definitive, and you can't really do everything, but you can use it directionally to understand if you're influencing and how you're influencing some of the results.
I have a feeling that Google is going to come out at one point with some sort of a tool that is going to just completely like eliminate a lot of the tools out there, because they have so much data, right? I mean, I was talking yesterday with Jerry, and he translated this study from Systrix about how basically AI overviews impact the CTR on the first position and on the first page. And I mean, just in the German market alone, there was because of the AI overviews, it was like a 265 estimated million drop in clicks just in the German market alone, right? So I have a feeling that Google might come out with a tool that is maybe it's going to be tied into Google Search Console, or maybe it's going to be somewhere else that is going to give you this like much deeper insight and much more insights into your kind of how you're performing, how you can influence that, but yeah, talking about that.
Just on that, wanted to like add, like it's interesting that you mentioned that, because very recently Microsoft has released their own AI visibility report as part of their organic Bing Webmaster Tools. So that gives you visibility into how your brand is cited in Copilot and Bing services, I think they say. Again, Bing and Copilot's share of voice in LLMs is quite small, so it's not 100% useful for everyone, because like you probably want like Gemini and OpenAI, like with ChatGPT, to release something. But I think it's a step into that direction that you're saying. Like if now Microsoft is kind of leading the way with this and provided something, and they've recently, I think, even upgraded it to like some of the queries actually that people type in terms of query fan out are listed now in the report, which is exciting. We're hoping that Google is going to be now a bit pushed in that direction. That
they're 100% working on that.
Yeah. So if once that happens, we feel that we're going to have a lot more insight, and we can do some of that measurement of actually like this is what is leading to your website, which makes this whole case for brands to work on that like a lot more compelling and convincing, because you can actually correlate with your optimizations with the output.